Some of you seem to be struggling with the normal distribution um, under Module 2, so I'm going to make a short, quick video to show you how to kind of work through the problems. There is already inside D2L a video that will show you how to use Minitab. If you go into the D2L course under Module 2, and down to the lesson on normal distribution, you should see a link to the PowerPoint normal distribution with Minitab, and then there is several corresponding videos that walk you through how to enter the information into Minitab. So I would encourage you to view those even before you start trying to work through the problems. But I'm looking at a practice problem. It's actually going to be questions 7, 8, and 9 for the practice problems of the normal distribution. And the scenario that's given to you is the length of time it takes to find a parking space at 9 a.m. follows a normal distribution with a mean of 6 minutes and a population of 2 minutes. Now, primarily what you need here in this problem is the fact that it follows a normal distribution. So you're told that in the story. You are also given the mean and the population standard deviations. And in order to work these problems, first you have to identify that you're going to use the normal distribution. And again, that's easy to do because they should tell you that the distribution follows a normal distribution or is approximately normal. And then beyond that, you need the mean, which symbol-wise, the mean is the letter mu. So you would have the mean is 6 and the standard deviation is 2. And then the question itself for question number 7 says, find the probability that it took less than 1 minute to find a parking space. Round your answer to 4 decimal places. So a couple things I want to point out here. If you wrote this out in symbols, this is telling you want to find the probability that your x value, which actually represents the length of time it takes to find a parking space at 9 a.m., okay, that's just the extra details, okay, is less than 1 minute. And I'm going to draw a picture. You don't necessarily have to have the picture in order to do it inside Minitab, but I like to look at the picture. So you have your horizontal axis, the bell-shaped normal distribution, and we know that the mean is in the middle, which is 6. And that mean, which is in the middle on your horizontal axis, becomes your reference point. I'm interested in the probability it takes less than 1 minute. So thinking about where 1 minute would be, if 6 is in the middle, 1 is going to be somewhere over here on the left, and I want to be less than that. So I'm really looking for this shaded region. This shaded region corresponds to the probability. Hopefully, from previous lessons, you've picked up on that the area under the curve corresponds to the probability. Okay, now there's several things, several pieces here that you have to enter in a Minitab. You have to have the mean, you have to have a standard deviation, and you have to know your x value. So I'm going to toggle over to Minitab. Okay, so here's the commands. I'm in Minitab. I'm going to go to the graph menu at the top of the screen. So I'm at graph, click. I'm going to scroll down to probability distribution plot. I'm going to have Minitab draw me the picture as well as give me the answer. Okay, so I'm going to choose probability distribution plot. And then I want to view the probability. There's different things that you can do in Minitab with the distribution plots. Okay, but I want to view the probability, which is the fourth option. So I'm going to click on that. Then I tell it OK. And then it asks me, what type of distribution do you have? It's normal. The mean was given to us in the problem as 6. The standard deviation was given to us in the problem as 2.0. And I'm going to click on the other tab that says shaded area, because I've got to tell the computer the shaded area. Okay, now our shaded area is defined by an X value. The X value is 1, and I wanted it to be less than, so it's on the left. The shaded region was to the left. Okay, so you have to make a lot of selections, and that's why the picture helps you ahead of time. Okay, left tail, okay, with an X value of 1, and I'm going to click OK. And it's thinking about it for a minute, and then it draws the picture, hopefully similar to the one that I had hand drawn, and it gives you this value, 0.006210. So if I go back to the question itself, it asked me for 1 minute and around to 4 places. And so what the computer has done is it's calculated the probability of that red shaded region, which is 0.0062 when you round it to 4 places. All right. Now we're going to continue to use this same scenario. The length of time it takes to find a parking space at 9 a.m. follows the normal distribution with a mean of 6 and a population standard deviation of 2 minutes. Okay. So we still have a mean of 6, standard deviation of 2. We know it's normal. Question 8 says, find the probability it took at least 8 minutes to find a parking space. So we have the probability that X is greater than or equal to 8. Again, you have to interpret or understand what at least means. Remember, at least means 8 or more. Okay, so probability that X is greater than 8. And again, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to draw the picture. So I have bell-shaped curve, normal distribution. My mean is in the middle, which is 6. My point, that becomes my point of reference. And now I want 8. 8 would be to the right of 6 because it's bigger, and I want to be greater than or equal to that. So I'm looking for this red shaded region. Okay, so I'm going back to Minitab and start the process over. Okay, again, we go to Graph, Probability Distribution, click. We want to view probability, tell it OK. It is a normal distribution with a mean of 6, standard deviation of 2, shaded area. Now again, I'm doing it by the X value. My X value this time is 8, and I want it to be greater than, so that is a right tail. I've made all my choices. I tell it OK. It creates the picture, and I get 0.1587, which corresponds to the area of this shaded region, which then corresponds to the probability. So this is 0.1587. That's your answer. Now, question 9 and 10 are a little bit different, okay, because in this case, you're actually given the probability. Okay, so if you want to make a distinction between questions 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 7 and 8, you have an X value, or you're given the X value. So you can think of these as X value type problems. And the 9 and 10 are you're given the probability. So we still have a normal distribution with a mean of 6 and a standard deviation of 2. And this one says 30% of the time, how long to find a parking space. Okay, so basically what we know here is that the probability of X that we don't know is 30%, if you want to think about it and write it out as an equation. So I'm going to draw my picture here. Again, you have your horizontal axis, your bell-shaped distribution. The mean is still in the middle, which is 6. And this time I know that the probability, I already know the area of the shaded region is 30%. Now I know that 30% is going to be on the left-hand side, because remember the mean is in the middle. So the mean divides your distribution so that you have basically 50% below and you have 50% above, which gives you the total of 100%. So 30% is less than 50%, so I know that it's there. So I already know the shaded region. What I'm looking for this time is the actual corresponding X value. What value would this correspond to? The process is not much different. We just have to make a couple of different selections. So again, we go to Graph, Probability Distribution Plot. We still want to view the probability. It's normal. The mean is 6. Standard deviation is 2. That hasn't changed. Then I'm going to click on Shaded Area. Now for shaded area, it's defined by the probability. The probability is 30%, written as a decimal is 0.30. And again, we're in the left tail, okay, because we're thinking about how long does it take. So it's kind of less than. Okay, then we click OK. And we get, see, it shows that my shaded red region is 0.3, and we get 0.4951. Okay, so this number here would be 4.95, because it asks us to round to 2 decimal places. So it takes approximately 4.95 minutes to find a parking space. 30% of the time, it takes 4.95 minutes to find a parking space. Now, number 10 is actually a little bit tricky, and there's a bold word there that hopefully can kind of help you out. 60% of the time, it takes more, okay, that's a key word, more than how many minutes to find a parking space. So again, if I think about drawing my picture, I have my horizontal axis, my bell-shaped curve, the mean is in the middle, which is 6, okay, and it tells me that 60% of the time it takes more than this many minutes. Okay, so more would imply greater than and would be to the right. Okay, so 60% would be this area to the right. And notice I drew my box a little bit past the mean. Remember, from the mean upward is 50%, so I had to back up just a little bit to get to 60. Okay, so the 60% is this red shaded region to the right. Okay, so I didn't shade it in, but okay, so I'm going back to Minitab one more time. Graph, probability distribution plot, view probability, still a normal distribution, mean of 6, standard deviation of 2. My shaded area is defined by probability, and this time it is 60%, but it's now in the right tail because I want it to be more than the value. Okay, so then we click OK. Again, it shows that the red shaded region is 0.6. My mean was 6, so I get 5.493. Rounded to 2 places, that means that this corresponds to this, the cut score here would be 5.49. So 60% of the time it takes more than 5.49 minutes to find a parking space at 9 a.m. Okay, so there's just some examples of normal distribution and using Minitab.